Om Shanti, everyone. Welcome to VIHASA. Thank you for joining us on a Sunday. I hope everyone can hear me clearly. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Welcome everyone to today's VIHASA session. Today's session is going to be on cooperation. We get together once a month on a Sunday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. for 2 hours to recharge ourselves. And since this is just once a month on a Sunday, if you ever want to see the next upcoming dates or register for the workshop so that you get email reminders every month, you can just log on to tiny.cc/vihasa-reg for registration. Okay. So now before we begin and get into the exercises, because this is going to be a fun interactive session. So before we get into the exercises, let's understand a little bit about what is VIHASA. So basically, VIHASA is a workshop that was developed by the Janki Foundation in UK. And VIHASA stands for Values in Healthcare, a Spiritual Approach. But so even though this was originally designed for healthcare professionals, it's applicable to everybody because it deals with values. And values is something that we all live by. We all have certain values in our lives. But when this was designed, actually, Dadi Janki was in the NHS hospital in London once. And she saw that the doctors and nurses there were very, very stressed out. They had a lot of pressure. And she thought if the doctors and nurses themselves are under so much stress, then what kind of healthcare or care support can they provide to the patients who really need them? So she decided to do some service for the healthcare professionals. And that's where these lovely group of people that you see in front of you, they are clinical psychologists, consultants, psychiatrists, therapists, different kind of people from healthcare profession. They got together and they created this beautiful workshop. So actually this workshop is supposed to be a full day offline workshop where a group of people get together face to face and we have these sessions. But because of COVID, we went online with the workshop, but so we've broken it down. Now, if you see the principles of VIHASA, you'll realize why it's applicable to everyone and not just healthcare professionals. So there are three main principles of VIHASA. The first one is heal thyself. So basically what VIHASA teaches us is that if we take care of ourselves and we work on our self-care, our personal development, then we have the ability or the capacity to take care and be of support to people around us. But if we ourselves are so low, if we ourselves are not well, we are not taking care of ourselves, then what kind of care or support can we give people around us? So that is the first principle. The second principle of VIHASA is learning through experience. So this is not going to be a lecture at all. Only the introduction part is where I'll be doing a little more speaking. But after that, you all will, speak. We all will together interact, discuss. We'll share our experiences and we'll learn from each other and grow together. So learning through experience. So it'll be a facilitation, not a teaching. And the third principle of VIHASA is relevance to work. So how do whatever I hear today, whatever insights we get today, how do I apply it in my daily life at work? So some of us are professionals, some of us may be homemakers. Irrespective, how do I bring this to my everyday life? And how do I make my everyday life better with today's learnings? So for example, today is the value of cooperation. So how do I bring cooperation into my practical life at work with my colleagues or at home with my family? So that's something we're gonna explore today. Now there are 8 modules for VIHASA and today is cooperation part 1. So the next 2 months will be part 2 and 3 of cooperation, so where we've broken down a full day 8-hour program into 2 hours, and we'll explore a few activities together. And as we go into part 2 and 3, we'll go deeper into these values. Now you'll notice that a lot of different exercises have different kinds of activities. And so basically all of Vihasa is designed keeping 7 spiritual tools in mind. The first one being meditation. So you'll notice that some activities require you to sit in peaceful contemplation, sit with yourself, really think about the value. The second one is visualization, where we'll create positive images, because visualization is the first step to making your goals a reality. First, you visualize what you want and then you start working towards it, right? The third one is reflection. So, a lot of times we're so busy in our lives that we just don't have time to sit with ourselves and think about things. So, we're going to take an appointment with ourselves where we sit with ourselves and really think, how do I feel about this? What do I think cooperation means? Things like that. The fourth one is playfulness. So Vihasa is very interesting. It's not at all boring. And it has a lot of fun activities, like there's playfulness, there are group activities together, things like that. Listening is another spiritual tool that Vihasa uses. And I think it's very undervalued and underappreciated, this tool, because listening can be very healing. And there's a difference between hearing and listening. So that's something to think about. Another tool that we use is appreciation. So we acknowledge each other's strengths, gifts, but not just other people's. Like now, I think as a society, we've learned the value of appreciating other people, but it's equally important to appreciate ourselves, because sometimes we appreciate other people, but we forget to be thankful to ourselves. Can you just give me a moment? I'll just be right back. So, appreciation is something that is also very important for ourselves along with for other people. And the last and final tool that we have for in the Vihasa activities is creativity. So, creativity is something wherein we explore the value with our right side of the brain, which is also related to intuition, problem solving, things like that. So, when we come and approach something with a different side of our brain, which we're not used to using on a regular basis, we the way we think about it changes, our perspective towards it changes, and we find different kinds of answers. And our creative activities are a lot of fun. Like when we were together in face to face Vihasa, we used to have big chart papers, crayons, colors. We used to make these graphs and charts together. But we'll also have them online, wherein you get your colors out, you write a poem, you prepare a speech, you do a drawing, things like that. So now, why is Vihasa a facilitation? So the word to facilitate means to make easy. And if you might have realized that when you just hear something, like you hear a lecture or you hear someone say something, you might forget about it. And when you see something, you might remember it. But when you do something for yourself, that's when you truly understand. So in Vihasa, we actually do things. We do the exercises, we do the action planning. So it's a lovely way to really inculcate these things into your life. And lastly, I won't bore you too much. Lastly, we have a website called vihasa.in, wherein you can read any additional information that you want about Vihasa and about our upcoming events. So now, before we start with the icebreaker activity, I would just like to introduce today's facilitators, which is myself and Priyanka. So hi everyone, my name is Kosha. I'm an artist and illustrator, and I've been with the Brahma Kumari since 2014, and I've been a Vihasa facilitator since 2017. So welcome everyone to today's session, and I request Priyanka to also introduce herself. Over to you, Priyanka.
Thank you, Kosha. Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Priyanka. I'm working as a senior infection control officer at Bridge Candy Hospital, and I'm associated with VIHASA since last 4 to 5 years. And it's wonderful to be here on Sunday morning with all of you.
Thank you so much, Priyanka. So it's always great to spend our Sunday mornings with all of you. Um, okay, so before we begin the activities, since we're going to spend the next hour and a half or 2 hours together, I thought we could just unmute ourselves and, get to know each other. So let's think about one act of cooperation that you can think of that some loved one extended to you. So one act of cooperation from a loved one towards you. So take a minute, think about it, think about an example where a loved one helped you out, cooperated with you about anything. And if you can't think of a loved one, anyone that you know, like a colleague from work, a teammate, anyone that extended an act of cooperation towards you. And whenever you're ready to share, you can just unmute yourself, start your video, just tell us your name, what you do, and maybe you can tell us an act of cooperation that you've done or that you've received rather. So anyone wants to start? Sneha, would you like to start just to give like an example to everybody? So an act of cooperation from a loved one.
Uh, Good morning, everyone. My name is Neha. About an example of a cooperation, I can think of in the past, like 6, 7 years ago, when I had to give my CFA exams. My husband was very cooperative to take care of the household things on the weekends, and so that I can study very peacefully. So that act of cooperation is really helpful for me and really strengthen the relationship with the spouse.
That's so lovely. Thank you so much for sharing that, Sneha. That's such a, like, it's not a huge out of the way thing, but still even a small act like that can make a huge impact on us. So thank you so much, Sneha, for sharing that with us. Would anyone else like to share? Pradeep Bhai, would you like to share an act of cooperation you've received?
Yeah, Jai Hind everyone. Good morning. I am Dr. Pradeep from Sunbeam School, Bhagwanpur. Actually, ma'am, earlier I was not a part of this Brahma Kumaris and this all, but my younger brother Avinash Tripathi, he has suggested me कि भैया why not to do this type of work, though we are in teaching profession and we have done a lot of things. So ma'am, in our day-to-day life we come across with the different type of students. Okay, some of them are very good, excellent, bright, and some of them are slow learners. So what we do, we just cooperate them, just boost them. You have potential, you can also come up. Okay, so this has worked a lot, and definitely this session will help me out to make it more easy for them. Okay ma'am, thank you.
Thank you so much, Pradeep. Right, so that's lovely. Dr. Pradeep says that he wants to help his students to become better, so that he's extending an act of cooperation to enable and help the students. So thank you so much, and I'm sure we'll all have something to take away from this session today. Thank you so much. Would anyone else want to share just an act of cooperation that either you have done or you have received from someone, like just as an example to inspire each other and get inspired by each other, because that's what today's session is all about: inspiring and getting inspired by each other and learning and growing together. So Brijpal Bhai, Ranjana Ben, Ashwini Kumar, Dr. Ashwini, do you want to, Ashwini Bhai, do you want to share something? Anyone? You can just unmute yourselves and feel free to share one act of cooperation. Is anyone ready to share? Okay, so we won't force anyone, but we would recommend that, the more you participate, the more we can benefit from this session, as it's going to be an interactive one. So with that, we can move on to today's first exercise, which is developing cooperation. Over to you, Priyanka. So Dr. Priyanka is going to take us through today's first session.
Brother Akhilesh, I think he has unmuted, right? I can see that.
Can you see that?
Akhilesh Mishra, yeah.
No, his mic is only not on according to me. So that means he's not connected his audio yet.
Fine.
So if anyone wants to share a little later, also most welcome to do so. And if you all feel you all are more comfortable writing down your answers on the chat box, that's okay too. If you feel like you are not comfortable with your audio video, you can just write down the answers on the chat box and we'll read it out. So welcome to do that.
Okay,
So over to you, Priyanka.
I can share my experience.
Yes.
Maybe I can say my parents, especially today is Father's Day. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, so my father, I can think of him helping me every time whenever I ask for anything. Now also when I said I have a VIHASA session, he quickly got up from this room and went to other room and helped me just clean some stuff over here.
That's so sweet.
You know, which yeah, means it's really worth remembering and admiring and acknowledging what others, everyone does for us. So thank you.
That's so true. Thank you so much for sharing that, Priyanka.
Yeah.
Okay, so over to you. We've got Ashwini Bhai, who has written that he gets a lot of inspiration from Dadi Janki ji because she used to help everyone. And I think that's amazing because she is also Nimitz in creating this program for us today, VIHASA program. So thank you for sharing that. Okay, so we'll move on to the first exercise where we're going to understand what is cooperation. So over to you, Priyanka. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Kosha Ben. So now we will explore about what is cooperation. So when we think of cooperation, we always think what is there. So we have to understand that we all have a unique speciality by which we are able to contribute or cooperate with others. And when we share with others, we work cooperatively with with others, the outcome is much greater and it's profound as compared to when individual puts in efforts. They always say it's like a bundle grouping together. So when we work individually and when we work in team or in cooperation, the outcome is definitely different that we all have experienced. So can you change the slides, Kosha? Yeah, just show everything together. So let's try to understand what is this cooperation model is all about. So this model focuses on experiencing and evaluating the qualities, skills of a successful cooperation. What does it mean? So we have to try and understand in today's model, what are the qualities, skills which are represented by me or the people who show the act of cooperation. Now, what is cooperation? So cooperate means to understand and value each other's so we can accept and build upon each other's ideas. So what are their thoughts, their feelings? What are my thoughts, my feelings? So we have to understand. And sometimes we want to understand and want to be understood. So this is all the process which we are going to go through today to understand the cooperation in a better way. So this helps in revealing something of ourselves, like allowing ours to see beyond the behavior, sharing values, beliefs, passions, our fears, hopes. So when we share all of these, and when we feel that we are not being judged while we are sharing, while we are speaking with others, there we develop this quality of cooperation, and there the value becomes more and more stronger. So it's a responsibility, which is, we call it share responsibility, where both the giver, the speaker, and the listener, the people around, they collectively build the environment in such a way that we are able to cooperate with each other. So this is what we are going to learn in today's module. So our first exercise is cooperation. What does it mean? Next slide. So you have to think of a situation at home or at work where you experience successful cooperation. We all must have experienced cooperation in some or the other way. Sometimes everybody came together and suddenly the situation which was like unpredictable suddenly falls into place, or sometimes suddenly you feel that, how does it happen? Means, how did it happen? I didn't ask everyone, and then it just, everything went very smoothly. I had so many thoughts, but it just went very smoothly. So think of such situation maybe at home or at work where, sorry, where everything falls into place. So the act of cooperation, try to recollect, and these are the questions you can reflect upon. What made the situation successful? What were the behaviors and skills people showed? And what were the qualities and values people expressed at that time? So this exercise is going to take us to the experience and help us understand the situation, the people's behavior, the qualities, the skills which were exhibited by all of us and people around, and understand the virtue of cooperation in a better way. So we'll sit back for 5 minutes and reflect on these questions.
If anyone has any doubts or needs any clarification, please feel free to ask. So you can just ask Priyanka when if you don't understand anything. Okay, so like Priyanka said, we'll take 5 minutes. We'll just try and answer these questions. It'll be helpful if you have a notepad and a pen with you so you can jot down your thoughts. And then we'll come back together after 5 minutes. So I'll just play some soft music while you can reflect. Is everyone done, or does anyone need more time to answer these questions?
Yeah.
Is everyone okay? Like, were you able to kind of think of a situation and come up with some of the behaviors and qualities? Okay,
You can
Priyanka,
just
Ben.
unmute yourself and yeah, you can share. You can unmute yourself. Anyone would like to share?
So you can, whoever's ready can just share the, behaviors or skills that people showed when they were being cooperative. So the behavior and then the qualities and values. So would anyone want to start? Go first. You can also write it down on chat if that's more comfortable for you. Yes, Brijpal Bhai, would you like to share? Om Shanti. We
Yeah.
cannot hear. Yes, we can.
See, I worked as a consultant. I'm a civil engineer, and I worked as a consultant in a public sector unit. What I found there, that the officers at senior levels felt that their egos were hurt by their colleagues or seniors, and they would not like to cooperate. Rather, they would like to complain to the managing director of their actions. So I, being as a consultant, I told them three things. That first, do not disturb the man in power, whether right or wrong. Second, accept what is acceptable, but don't reject what is not. Third, if you cannot make, you should not break. If these three principles are adopted by any organization or a state or a country, then there will be a smooth function. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Brijpal Bhai, can you tell us some of the behaviors? So you kind of told us these lovely principles, and I think it's something we all can really learn from. But maybe some of the behaviors or skills and some of the qualities, like I got acceptance as one of the qualities from what you were saying. Can you help us with a few more?
But it was their ego which was hurting them. So nobody would like to listen to the other fellow of their equal standard or some senior.
Yeah.
That is the trouble. So we have to crush our ego.
Hmm.
Ego is the main source of this thing, which doesn't
Yeah.
allow us to move forward.
True.
And second is the acceptance. You try to understand the other man rather than judging him. That is very important. This is what I feel.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We got some wonderful qualities from it.
Thank you.
Also, you can add understanding here, I think.
Yeah. On the right or left?
Right side, yeah. Politics. Thank you, Brijpal Bhai ji.
Thank you.
Anyone else wants to share? You can also share in chat box.
So whoever wants to share anything, like even if you don't want to tell us the story, you can just share behaviors and qualities. So Ashwini Bhai, do you want to share something? We've got Dr. Pradeep, if you would like to share some behavior, skills, values. We have Bhavya, Shomika. Anyone who's ready can share. Arif. So you can just unmute yourselves and, share anything.
The whole exercise is about understanding the situation, why it was successful. So we all can learn from each other and maybe develop these attributes if it is not there, or maybe make it more stronger. So that's why we would like to listen to everyone. You can also write down in the chat box the qualities, behaviors expressed in those situations.
And we would request you to interact because the whole workshop is interactive. So without your participation, we wouldn't really get anywhere. So anything that you want to share with us, as much as you are comfortable sharing would be nice.
Koshabin, do you want to share something about your experience?
My experience of cooperation. Well, I have, yeah, I mean, there are many times where I've received cooperation from different kinds of people. Um, okay, one example could be wherein I was living alone by myself for a while, and my brother was visiting me, and he would. So I would have these sessions and workshops and stuff in the morning. So he would help out by, being proactive. So I'll just write it down while I'm saying. So he was proactive in helping me make lunch and, just helping out around the house, being very non-demanding, because as a guest visiting me, I should be doing, even though he's just my brother, but still. So that's just the first example that popped up in my head. So I'm just sharing that. So he would, and he's a really good cook. So he helped with, cooking, and he was not so fussy about the way I kept things. And it was nice. It was good to have somebody to help out and, cooperate like that, because then after my workshop's over by 12:01, I'm kind of tired and hungry. And then to go and cook is a lot of work. So yeah, he was really helpful. So that's the smallest and most basic example that I could think of just an everyday thing, but where you find the value of cooperation even in the smallest of things people do for you.
That helps us understand further also that, even if it is a small act of cooperation, but where people are able to help, when we understand each other, when we are having that innate quality of help, being helpful, whatever are our specialties, we can at least definitely, use that to help others. Like your brother is a good cook, so he helped you in cooking. The meal was ready for you. So that way, there is that feeling of, cooperation, which is natural to us when we are able to use our specialties,
Yeah.
having a good environment, having a good understanding of each other. It is automatic.
Yeah, that's a lovely point, Priyanka. Thank you. So we all have different skills and talents and abilities. And when you specially use those to help somebody, then it's just so much more impactful, and it just gives relief to the other person. So thank you so much for sharing that. Also, I think Ashwani Bhai has put up something on the chat box if you want to read it out.
Brother has written, it is believed to cooperate. One second. Yeah. It is believed to cooperate, sending true positive vibrations. Sometimes you are not able to reach anyone, but giving good feelings for someone with a true heart, this can also be a very good cooperation. Very, very true. Because thoughts have the lot of power, and that really helps. Sometimes we think that I was feeling so low, but suddenly I'm feeling so powerful. So
Yeah.
this is a vibrations which makes us feel better.
So sending good energy out into the world. Thank you so much. Anyone else wants to share anything at all? Bhavya, Shomika, Arifa, you can send something on the chat box if you can't really, unmute yourself and talk. So anything that you all want to talk about or share is more than welcome. Okay, so we'll move on for now. But anyone wants to add anything else, even feel free to write it on chat. Sneha Ben, would you like to share something?
Yeah, so I thought of filling just the last box with my experience. So last 2 years back, my mother-in-law had COVID. So it was like a medical situation in the house, and I was doing the household work plus working as well. So the kind of behavior skills showed by my father-in-law and my spouse was they were very patient listener and very easy and light in that entire situation, which helped me to do the office work as well and doing the home household work and taking care of the mother-in-law. So this behavior skills of light and being very patient listener and easy really helped in overcoming that situation and helped in proper recovering of mother-in-law and also helped me to do the work as well. In terms of qualities which I learned from that situation was a very caring nature, patience, and yeah, patient listener as well. So as in, if I had anything to ask for or any help, they very patiently helped in doing that work.
Wonderful. Osha, you need to unmute yourself.
Oh, so sorry. I was just talking with the mute on. All right. So I said that thank you everyone for sharing. If anyone thinks of something else later and they want to write it down on chat box or share a little later, that's okay as well. And for now, we can move on to the next activity. So Priyanka Ben, do you just want to conclude this?
Yeah, so what I was noticing from all of these, the values and qualities was like someone had a specialty and there is something, there is something because of which we are able to, cooperate. So the conducive environment is something which plays a very big role over here. So you will not cooperate with everyone maybe, but you will cooperate with some people. So there is something which is connecting to both or the team. So one thing is your inner values of cooperation, which is natural or which is there, but we need to develop it. And second thing is feeling very, very understanding, feeling very comfortable in that environment. We are able to express better and help each other better. So these values, these behaviors help us to understand these are the different ways by which we all express. We all have already expressed the value of cooperation, and we all have these qualities. So we need to acknowledge that we are able to cooperate with each other, and these are the qualities which we exhibit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Priyanka Ben, for taking us through this lovely exercise and some lovely values that have come out. And the thing is, now that we know what kind of values go with cooperation according to all of us, maybe if we use more of these values in our lives, we can be more cooperative. Now we kind of know one way to be more cooperative in our everyday lives. So just something to keep in mind. We do have a WhatsApp group, a closed group, like just the admin can post, so you will not get spammed. But after every session, once a month when we have them, these kind of sharings that come from all of us as a group, we put these on the WhatsApp group as something just to go through later on. So I'll be putting a link to that WhatsApp group on chat later on. And if you all are interested, because we're also going to have a group photo and everything in the end, we'll be sharing all that on the WhatsApp group. All right. So just reminder that you will get that. Now for the next exercise, we'll have a small meditation commentary on inner values of cooperation. So this is what Priyanka Ben also just mentioned, right? That we all have some inner values which we can use to cooperate with other people. So we're going to experience those for ourselves within us now. So I request all of you to just sit in your places, be comfortable. If you have something in your hand or something, just put it aside for now and just be very comfortable. Okay, I'm going to play some very soft music. Sit relaxed in your chair. As your body relaxes, so does your mind. You feel calm and peaceful. Now, consider some of the qualities of cooperation. Which of these are your special qualities? Think of just one of these qualities and really experience it. What does it feel like to be that quality? Does an image, color, or phrase come to mind associated with that quality? Can you see yourself being that quality in your everyday life? Just imagine and think about it. Think about being that special quality of cooperation that you have chosen. When you are ready, think of another quality of cooperation. And again, try to feel what it is like to be that quality. Images or colors may come to mind. Just try and experience that quality as deeply as you can. Experiment with it, comparing how similar or different is it from the first quality that you chose. When you are ready, move on to a third quality and experience it as deeply as you can. How is it different from the other two qualities? Can you see yourself being that quality? Think about it. All these qualities are part of the peaceful and cooperative person that you are. Get a sense of that person. Feel at peace with that person. In your own time, become more aware of your body. Feel your feet on the ground. And when you're ready, in your own time, open your eyes. So, is everyone still awake, or did I put somebody to sleep with the meditation? Is everyone still with us? Yes? So, maybe in the chat box, you can just share how did you feel the meditation was? Did you like it? Could you visualize those qualities that you were supposed to choose? What was your experience like? So if anyone wants to share that, you can either unmute yourselves and share the experience of the meditation, or you can write it down on the chat box for us. But at least could you hear me? Like, was I audible over the music? Was your experience all right with it? Priyanka, was I audible during the
Yes.
meditation? All right.
So peaceful.
So now with that, we move on to the last activity for today, the third exercise. This one is going to actually require your participation because it's a breakout room activity wherein you will be with another person one-on-one and you have to share. So I hope you all are ready for that. Um, Priyanka Ben, over to you. So please take us through the third activity.
Yeah, the next exercise is about cooperative listening. Can we have the slide, please? So let me just talk about what is cooperative listening. Now, listening, it is one of the spiritual tool which we use in VIHASA. When we talk about cooperation, we already explored that we, cooperate in environment where we are able to feel comfortable, or the environment is conducive where we feel like cooperating. So this is one of the tools which will help us to develop that value of cooperation in a better way. So we need to really hear and understand the other person if we are to work with anyone in a cooperative way. So listening is something we will develop today. So there are three things which we have to remember when we use listening as a spiritual tool: to be peaceful, to be attentive, and listen with your heart. So all these three aspects of listening are important, but the emphasis over here is paying attention in a way that there is no judgment, the judgmental thing which is there, where you would feel that whether I can share or not. So the environment has to be very conducive. So second thing is you have to pay attention to what the other person is saying or talking about, and try and understand the feeling behind what they are trying to say. That is one thing, and listen with your heart. So you have to be very curious. Uh, you know. So I was just exploring one of the value while Kosha was meditating is enthusiasm. This is also one of the very good quality which when we think of this quality, we are able to cooperate in a better way. So there are different values which we will exhibit while we are able to talk with each other. So these are different attributes where just give me a moment. So think of all these virtues, and we will try and explore the quality of cooperation through the act of listening. So this is the exercise where we will explore this further. Reflect about a piece of music you particularly like. So this exercise will help us to understand uh, our way of cooperation in a better way. So think of any music which you particularly like. Maybe you can listen right now also if you have it, and reflect on the following questions after that. Why have you chosen that piece of music or song? And what makes it special to you? Are there further questions, Kosha?
Yes, sorry.
what does it remind you of, and how does it make you feel? So music is something, it's very unique to everyone. Some people will listen to different types of music, so think of yourself. Don't think about what others will think about you. Just think about music which you like, and use this as a tool to explore your qualities which you exhibit through cooperation in different situations. So this is the exercise which is pure fun. So just reflect on these questions once you think of a music you particularly like. So we will record first, and then we will listen to the music. Question.
So what they can do is they can think of whatever music they like.
Mhm.
Everyone, I would request you to screenshot this or write down the questions if you want, because when you go into breakout rooms, you will not be able to see the screen. So just think of a piece of music you like. And why have you chosen that music? Why do you like that? What is so special about that music to you? What does it remind you of? Because sometimes a song or music reminds us of something. So what is it reminding you of? And how does it make you feel? Because you chose it because it makes you feel something, right? That's why you chose a particular song or music. So just think about all these questions. You can take a screenshot so the questions are in front of you. And then we will put you in breakout rooms. And remember what Priyanka said about how we have to listen. We have to listen with our heart. We have to be peaceful, and we have to be attentive to what the other person's saying. So remember these three things, and we are going to put all of you one-on-one in a group. So you'll have one person in the group with you, and you all will talk to each other about your favorite piece of music. So we'll spend 10 minutes in the breakout room. So 5 minutes you talk and the other person listens, and the other 5 minutes they talk and you listen. Okay. So in case y'all have never experienced breakout rooms before, once we open the breakout rooms, you will automatically go into the room with one other person. So please start your audio and video to be able to interact with that person. If you are stuck or something's going wrong, you can click on the ask for help button, which will be on the top left. And then one of us will come to you, and we will help you out with whatever it is. Then if you want to, if at the end, you don't need to come back to the main room, because at the end of those 10 minutes you will automatically be brought to the main session, and we can send you reminders in between. So that is the breakout room. Okay, and we'll do part B after you come back. So does anyone have any questions about the breakout room? Because I'm going to open the rooms now. So anyone has any questions about it? Okay, so you will all be with one other person in your room. So please start your audio and video and interact with that person.
freedom kind of a feeling.
That's lovely. So how did you feel about the possibility of your partner judging you? Like, were you comfortable sharing or were you hesitant के oh what वो क्या सोचेंगे ऐसा?
हाँ, थोड़ा सा, बिकॉज अभी जैसे बीके में आके थोड़ा सा हिंदी सॉन्ग्स के लिए लगा कि एकदम से हिंदी सॉन्ग आया दिमाग में, क्योंकि वी हैव स्टॉप्ड लिसनिंग टू दीज सॉन्ग्स लाइक फॉर अ गुड रिमेम्बरेंस ऑफ न्यू एंड बेटर थॉट्स. तो एक बार मुझे थोड़ी सी हिचकिचाहट हुई, बट देन आई वेंट विद द फ्लो कि ओके दिमाग में सॉन्ग आया तो आई कैन शेयर इट.
Yes. So good. You kind of were okay sharing that. So how enthusiastic were you and what was the effect of this? So you've already said that you kind of got excited and enthusiastic. So what was the effect of your enthusiasm? Like, was it infectious or did it change in how you felt about something?
So once the thought came, like if I should share or not, then suddenly I felt little very as you can say enthusiastic, and that thought went away. I kind of appreciated myself. Okay, it's fine. I'm sharing this song.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah.
nice. And was your partner, so was Brijpal bhai encouraging? Like, was he saying, "हाँ और बताओ" ऐसे type?
No,
Like,
so
what did he?
Brijpal Bhaiji very patiently listened to me, even Priyanka Ben, and they appreciated the song which I chose and the feelings which came to me after recalling the song. Both of them gave me comments as well, a positive comment.
That's really nice. Thank you so much for sharing that, Sneha Ben. So, Brijpal Bhaiji, can we ask you about your experience as a listener? कि जब स्नेहा बहन आपके साथ शेयर कर रहे थे, तो what was your experience as a listener and what were your energy levels?
It was really a very beautiful song. It was so energetic. जिंदगी ना मुझे मिलेगी दोबारा. It was a great feeling. She was very energetic, young and thoughtful, peaceful. It was a beautiful one. I got a very good feeling. Young feeling.
Yeah. So was there any common ground that you discovered between you and Sneha when you all were sharing, discussing? So भले age gap है या जो भी है, but did you discover things that are common with both of you?
No, when I was young, I was also like that.
Acha, so it reminded you of your youth, maybe.
It is beautiful. You have to go through this, and you should always feel young by heart.
Yeah, that is true. And is there anything else you want to share, Brijpal bhai, about your experience as a talker, like when you were sharing?
In my mind that only Gayatri mantra, which I am chanting myself day in and day out, came to my mind.
That's nice.
That is what I am doing right now.
That's lovely. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences, Sneha Ben and Brijpal bhai.
Thank you.
Even
you so
Ashwini brother is
Thank you.
very happy and appreciative of it. He thinks it's
Thank
wonderful.
you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. And so with that, I think we can just wrap up for today. Just a quick session review. So when we met in the morning, we started with an icebreaker session just to get to know each other a little better, and some beautiful sharings of how small acts of compassion can also mean so much to us, like acts of cooperation, where people help us in the smallest ways, you know. So, and then we went to the activity which Priyanka Ben took us through. What does cooperation mean? Prasanta, would you like to share something? You've raised your hand. You can unmute yourself and share if there's something you want to share with us.
Yes, madam. Am I audible, madam?
Yes, you are audible.
So, madam, actually, I was just searching this. What is this actually? So then, button I have just touched.
Okay, no problem.
It has happened. It has happened, madam.
No problem. You're experimenting with Zoom. That's okay.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. Thank you so much.
Okay.
So, So session review mein, Priyanka Ben took us through what it means to be cooperative. So until we don't understand the meaning of cooperation, it's difficult for us to be cooperative, right? So we understood
Okay.
what does it mean for us to be cooperative. Then we had this meditation to experience the inner values of cooperation, where we went within ourselves, we chose 3 values and we tried to experience ourselves as those values. And the third exercise was where we had a partner and we shared something about us or about our likes, dislikes, and we interacted. So it was cooperative listening, wherein I got a chance to speak, they got a chance to speak. So I got to be the talker and the listener. So that was part 1 of cooperation. Part 2 of cooperation is going to be sometime in the 2nd or 3rd Sunday of July. So I hope that we can see you all there, and you can also tell other people about this. Before we end today's session though, I would like to share with you our WhatsApp group. So I'm just going to put the link on chat. So if you or anybody else wants to join the WhatsApp group for the sharing that we did today, we're going to share that on the group. And to know about upcoming, workshops and things like that, please do just click on the link and you'll join the WhatsApp group. Now, I would request all of you to start your videos so we can have a group photo, if that's okay. So Ashwini Bhai, maybe just for a minute, you can try and start your camera. I know you're at work. Brijpal Bhai, okay, great. Sneha Ben, is it possible? All right, perfect. So I'm just gonna take a screenshot, okay? 1, 2, 3, smile. Thank you so much. I've taken the picture. So we will be sharing this as well on the WhatsApp group. And does anyone want to talk about something or share their feedback, experience about today's session? If anyone has some end comments before we stop for the day, please feel free to share.
Yeah, the whole model itself was of cooperation for me. I can feel through you cooperating in a different way. So thank you for that. It was real learning for all of us.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to do these sessions and meet some lovely people. And Ashwini Bhai says Brijpal Bhai is always inspiring everyone. So thank you, Brijpal Bhai, for joining us. And we learned so much from you. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I will see you all in July for the next part 2 of cooperation. So have a lovely Sunday. Om Shanti, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Om Shanti, everyone.
Om Shanti. Om Shanti.